Welcome to Lesson 14 of Introduction to Botany. In this episode, we're going to be going over biomes. Now, before we get into it, this may or may not be the ending episode to this series. I might make one more just to seal the nail in the coffin, so to speak, of this course. After this, I want to go into plant physiology and anatomy. I want to do some deep dives into full chemistry episodes, like with foxglove and cardiac glycosides, or the chemicals behind hemlock, stuff like that. So chemically interesting botanical episodes. I also want to go in depth into another botany course to get a really good understanding of the technical information, past just a basic introductory to different languages used and words and terms in botany. So there's a lot planned for the future with this. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. So, biomes. Biomes are large ecological regions defined by climate, vegetation, and communities of organisms. Each biome contains multiple ecosystems. And there's different major biomes, like forests, deserts, tundras, and aquatic areas and grasslands. These biomes have key characteristics, like biome boundaries are often blurry, but not exact. They kind of blend together. Some ecologists classify it into 20 or more specific biome types. And there's organisms adapted to biome-specific conditions. So what are plants' role in biomes? Well, they're the primary producer. They're the base of all food webs. Aquatic plants like pondweeds and wild celery allow hideouts for fish and eggs and reptiles and fish and insect species. There's trees in savanna like acacias and baobabs, and they allow food for giraffes, elephants, and other herbivores. There's biodiversity, which is where there's high plant density, which allows to more stability and resilience of ecosystems. And there's nutrient cycling, which is where plants recycle oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, and water globally. There's climate change impacts. So climate change is long-term changes in average conditions. So temperature, wind, precipitation. And these can be caused from a lot of stuff. They can be caused from human activity, like extra greenhouse gases, which are CO2, CH4, H2O, vapor, and there's more. Overall, there's a general increase to a certain extent, but humans don't contribute to making it better, obviously. And these have effects on plants. There's increased CO2, which actually sometimes boosts growth, but it's limited by nutrient availability. There's leaf thickening, which reduces CO2 uptake efficiently. There's drought, which kill water-dependent plants. Or there's shifting growth zones, so temperate plants move poleward or up mountains. And these have major effects on biomes. In tropical rainforests, you see trees dying, which leads to biodiversity loss. In the Amazon rainforest, you have trees dying from carbon sinks, and that affects the carbon source. You have temperate forests, where there's earlier leafing or flowering going on, which overall disrupts food web timing. Or in grasslands and deserts, you have an encroachment by shifting plants, and this allows to altered fire regimes. It makes a higher wildfire risk. And plant-based climate solutions aren't always simple, like tree planting, for example. Planting 400 hectares of Australian trees in Congo grasslands, there's a lot of pros. You have CO2 absorption, which leads to 10 million tons over 20 years, but it threatens native plants and animals, disrupts the water nutrient cycles, and raises local temperatures, which may displace farmers. The key principle is to plant the right tree in the right place for the right reasons. There's also successful biome conservation examples. Like in Virginia, USA, they restored over 9,000 acres of seagrass meadows, which led to better carbon storage and ecosystem revival. So there's also a lot of good examples of beneficial stuff that people did to help the environment through plant-based climate solutions. If you could take away anything from this, it would be that plants connect biomes through energy flow and nutrient cycles. Climate change disrupts plants. It impacts entire ecosystems and biodiversity. Conservation must include native species, ecosystem interactions, and what the long-term effects will be. And global plant management requires careful biome-specific planning. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Lesson 14 of Introduction to Botany. It was a lot of fun to make. Like I said, I might make one more just to summarize this course up and to finish up for sure, but this may be the last episode on it. We'll see. Either way, thanks for watching, and if you want to get updated on the botany or botanical content that I post in general, feel free to subscribe.